On this video, I'm going to show you how to edit a video in Camtasia. Now I'm using Camtasia for Mac, but Camtasia for PC should be identical. In this particular scenario, I already have the video pre-recorded from my digital camera. So I'm going to open it up real quick just to give you an idea. So I got this video here of me talking to the camera. And I also got these videos that I downloaded from a service that I have that gives me access to videos I can use, free footage. So I have these videos of this printing press and just a couple of videos of printing presses and stuff like that. So there's some context on the video. The video itself talks about the story of a printing press and then somebody talking on the phone or something like that. So I'm actually going to use that footage as what's called B-roll. So main footage of me talking and telling the story will be the underlying guideline of the whole video, and my voice will always be there. But then we're gonna interpose those other videos to kind of give a little bit more storytelling to the story itself. So let me show you how that process works. So we're gonna create a new project. Okay, and this is what Camtasia looks like. So real quick, if you're brand new to Camtasia, on the left side of the screen, you're going to have all these little menus that gives you different areas of the software, and all this stuff is going to be relevant as you want to add effects and transitions and stuff like that. But really, media is the one that really matters, because that's where you're going to get all your stock videos. So basically, I'm going to click and drag all those videos into my media section. I could also click on import media and bring them that way. So I'm going to bring in all the videos into the media section. Then I'm going to maximize this. So I'm going to take my main video of me talking and put it down here on the timeline. Okay, this timeline in the bottom, that's crucial. Okay, because the timeline in the bottom is pretty much how you're going to guide yourself on the editing. Now, I remember that I made a mistake. I started speaking and then I stopped. So I have to find where I started the story again, which I think is here somewhere. I'm going to hit play real quick. So there's a legendary bit. That's exactly where I started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut somewhere here where I'm done fixing my glasses. I'm going to cut right there. And then I'm going to delete this part, and then I'll drag this to the left, all the way to the left, right? So I'll have, let me play it one more time. So there's a legend. That's perfect. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add an effect to fade that in. So that's going to be I believe it's animations, and then here where it says opacity. Okay, I'm going to grab opacity and bring it down here. So I'm basically clicking and dragging the animation, and I'm placing it somewhere in the timeline. So I'm going to place it right there, and then I can extend the arrow. See that? You can see I can shorten depending on when I want that to start. So I want the beginning of the animation to start all the way at the beginning, and maybe I want this one to end somewhere here when I start talking. So let's see there. So let's go back and hit play, see what that looks like. So there's a legendary business. That's perfect. I can extend it a little bit more. Let me play one more time. So there's a legendary business story. Okay, I think I actually want this to be shorter. So maybe I want to cut this maybe somewhere around here. So let me hit, I hit Command T on the Mac to cut it. I don't know what the shortcut on the PC is. And then I'm going to drag this animation, put it here to the right, and then bring it back to the left. So we start on the timeline at 0. Let me play one more time. So there's a legend. Yeah, much better. So like in this particular case, I think I like starting the video right from the get-go instead of having that little delay. Okay, so let's forward a little bit. And I'm going to hit play. Leave you a lesson of some sort in life. That really gigantic printing press. Okay, so I was talking about a gigantic printing press at that time. So that's really when it makes sense for me to now bring a video of a printing press. So I'm going to bring this video of a printing press, bring it down here and put it right on top. Okay, and I'll put it right over here. And then let's see what the right time is. So I'm going to hit play. The story is about a printing press. I can do it there. That has been in business for years, has this really gigantic printing press in the middle of their shop floor. Okay, maybe that's a perfect time to stop. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there, and I'm going to delete the rest because I don't need it. And I'm going to play it again so you can see what it looks like with the transition. So I'm going to hit play. So the story is about a printing press that has been in business for years, has this really gigantic printing press in the middle of the shop floor, and it almost never goes bad. And one day just... Okay, that's perfect, right? So we had the little printing press. That's perfect. So I'm going to keep playing. And they urgently needed to get it back up. I'm gonna keep forwarding to the story, and obviously I know how the story is. I'm gonna keep forwarding until the spot that makes sense for me to put the next video. So let me scrub a little bit to the right and see. You know what? Send me an itemized bill. Okay, that's way too forward. So let me go back. Technician walks around, looks at all the angles of the... Okay, it's perfect. Okay, so I talk about the technician walking around, and I had a video of a technician kind of walking around the print. Was it this one? Let me see which one was it. Okay, I guess this one will work. So let's see. Let me go back and hit play one more time. The guy said, no, it should be pretty fast. Just give me some time. And the technician walks around, looks at... Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in a little bit just so I can be a little bit more precise on the positioning of that video. So I'm gonna wait until I say the word technician walks around to pop the video in. So let me hit play. No, it should be pretty fast. Just give me some time. And the technician walks around. That's exactly. So I'm gonna do it around here somewhere. Let's see what that looks like. Fast. Just give me some time. And try one more time. Should be pretty fast. Just give me some time. And the technician walks around, looks at all the angles of the printing press for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then opens up one of the panels and takes out a... Okay, so when I say opens up one of the panels, let me look for a different video I have where there's actually somebody playing with the printer itself, which I think is this one. So let's see what that looks like. Let me hit play one more time. One of the panels and takes out a... Okay, so you notice how there was like kind of a harsh transition there. So let's talk about that. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Wait until I say the word panel again, just so I can time this. So let me hit play. Looks at all the angles of the printing press for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then opens up one of the panels. Okay, that's perfect. So opens up one of the panels is where I want to do my next switch. So let me cut the video one more time, delete there, and then bring the next video in. And let me see when... Okay, that's it. See, that's perfect. So that's him where he's like kind of like... You see the video of him like playing with the printer. So let me cut it there, and I'm gonna bring that right there on the transition. And what I'm gonna do is, let me zoom in a little bit more. What I'm gonna do is I wanna cross them. So you notice how these videos are here. I'm gonna cross them together, and what I want to do is I want to create a transition between the two. But to do that, I have to click on the transitions tab. And then I'm going to do a fade transition. I think it's probably the best option. So I'm going to bring fade transition and bring it right between the two here. Because what I'm doing is basically I'm going to make a smooth transition between the two clips. But I'm going to tighten it so it only really lasts like half a second or even less. So let's play and see what that looks like. And then opens up one of the panels and takes out a dime from his pocket and turns a screw just a little bit. Okay, so I actually don't like the way that came out because the guy was already walking out. So let me delete that and bring it back in because I think I want more of him working on the just to make sense of the video. So let me go back and play again to see what the right timing is. And then opens up one of the panels and takes out a dime from his pocket and turns a screw just a little bit sideways, steps back, turns the machine on. There you go. So that, see, when he says step back, that I want that to time perfectly. That's the challenging part. You know, can I get that to time perfectly when he steps back? So let me see if I get him to. I would have to get him to step back a little earlier. Let me hit play one more time. Steps back, turns the machine on. Okay, so I have to bring it in a couple. So this is actually going to work out great. So let me cut this up maybe this much. Cut it there, delete, bring it back. Let me hit play again. If I get that perfect when I say step back, the guy actually steps back. So let me hit play.
A little bit sideways, steps back, turns it.
Okay, so that actually worked the other way. So let me delete that and bring it back in there. So I cut way too much on that one. So let me see again.
Just a little bit sideways, steps back, turns the machine on.
Okay, so I just need to cut a little bit. I don't need to cut that much. So let me just do a little bit more trial and error here. Hit play one more time.
Turns a screw, just a little bit sideways, steps back.
Perfect. So that timing actually worked really great. So let me introduce that transition again, bring the fade, join the two together, make the transition a little bit shorter. Let me hit play again and see what that looks like.
5 or 10 minutes, and then opens up one of the panels and takes out a dime from his pocket and turns a screw just a little bit sideways, steps back, turns the machine on, and the machine is up and running.
Perfect. That's a great place for me to just cut it. So I'm just gonna hit Command T, right? There's usually a shortcut for cutting right there. So this is the split one. I use Command T on the Mac. Not sure what's on the PC, but you can see it right there. So let me hit play here.
Up and running and functional.
There you go. Perfect. So I got two clips back to back with a fade in the middle of the story, which is great. So I know I had one more video that I wanted to pop in there, which is the one with a phone conversation. So I may have to fast forward this until I get to that part. So let me see. Let me see here.
And it sends him the invoice and says, hey, dude.
Okay, so let's see.
You're still using the same printing press, right?
Okay, right. So right around here is where I want to have the next the next video. So let me just find the right timing here.
So it is possible we can win this lawsuit, and the owner of the company says, great, let's
Fast forward a little bit.
we just won't pay them. And the lawyer, who was kind of stepping out of the box, said,
okay, that's exactly what I wanted to bring the next video. So, and again, I kind of planned this in my head before. So I wanted to bring that video there where like kind of the lawyer's talking to the guy in the story. So let me see if that makes sense.
we could win this case, but you're still using the same printing press, right?
Right, that's it. That worked really well. Now, I like this video, but I think I want more footage. So I'm going to slow it down. So I'm going to right click on it and click on add clip speed. Okay. And then once I click on it, I should be able to see in the properties button, I should be able to now slow this down. So I'm going to bring it to 0.5 and see what that looks like in slow motion. Okay, maybe that will work. Let me hit play.
Tusos, whatever, we just won't pay them. And the lawyer, who was kind of stepping out of the box, said, we could win this case, but you're still using the same printing press, right? So the guy said yes.
Okay, so I can actually time it when I say right. That's it, it's done. I can switch it at that point. So maybe I don't need to make it 0.5. Maybe I can make it 0.75. No, that's going to be too fast. And make it 0.65 and see what that looks like in speed. So let's try one more time.
Who was kind of stepping out of the box said, we could win this case, but you're still using the same printing press, right?
Yeah, so I could probably go a little bit slower. So I'm going to do 0.6. Okay, I think the timing will work. Let me hit play one more time.
You're still using the same printing press, right? So the guy said yes.
So that's actually perfect. So the minute that he's done, that I'm doing the voiceover of the lawyer telling the story, it actually does a transition right there. So that actually makes things perfect. So let me go back to a place where I wanted to actually add some text. So let me hit play.
It's ridiculous. $10,000 is ridiculous. You're only here for...
Let me see.
And the other company gets so... Technician a little bit mad, but he... $1.
Okay, that's the time. So right here is what I want to actually write some text to add some value to the video. So let me just time it so I can find exactly what I'm talking about. Figures.
First line said $1.
Okay, that's perfect. So right there I was talking about a figure. So I'm gonna actually bring that in here. So that would be under the annotations tab. And I'm going to bring in maybe one of these texts here. So I'm going to bring it in like this. And then I'll start typing. So I'll do $1. And let me hit play for a second.
Turning a screw. And the other line said $9,999, knowing which screw to turn.
Okay, that's the timing I'm looking for. I want that to type up at the same time that I'm talking about it. So that becomes a little bit tricky. So let me start by typing the $1 here, and we'll put the turning. Let's type it in there. Turning a screw. Okay, and we'll do that. So $1 turning a screw. Okay, that's perfect. Just put it. Maybe I'll put it here. Maybe I'll organize this box a little bit, make it a little bit easier to read. Let me hit play one more time.
Turning a screw, and the other line said $9,999.
Yeah. So then I probably want to do 2 layers here. So I'm going to bring in another one, bring it up here in the top. And I also want to put that next to that. So I'm going to bring it here to the left, and we'll put $9,999. And then it was knowing which screw to turn. Yeah, I should make all lowercase. Okay, yeah, I think that will work. Yeah, let's play it and see what that looks like.
And it has 2 lines. First line said $1, turning a screw.
A little bit. I'm gonna bring it a little bit earlier in.
First line said $1, turning a screw, and the other line said $9,999, knowing which screw to turn.
Okay, so that's it. That's done. So once I'm done talking, I'll probably fade that out. But what I want to do is I want to bring an animation, so these things are like typed in there as I bring it in. So and basically I would go to behaviors, and I could bring in a couple of these animations that kind of make it look like it's being constructed or typed what is happening. So I'll do 2 of them. I'll do maybe this one that says sliding, bring that one on to the top text. And then I'll bring this one called scale on the one in the bottom. So let's play and see what that looks like.
$1, turning a screw, and the other line said $9,999, knowing which screw to turn. And
that was awesome, right? So the text comes in, it reveals, it comes back out. I mean, all that stuff needs to happen in order to add some drama into the whole conversation. So let's go towards the end and make sure I got the correct fade outs. Okay, let me see.
the story that thoughts about it, go ahead and add it in the comments below. Thanks.
Okay, so I'm gonna end the video there. I'm gonna cut that. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit more because I want to do a fade out. So let's do a transition and a fade. Bring that out here and see what that looks like. Let me hit play.
Thoughts about it, go ahead and add it in the comments below. Thanks.
That's perfect. So you got the fade out. So you got the fade out there. But I also want to add something like, hit like, add comments or something like that. So let me see when the right time is to say that. Let me hit play for a second.
DSLR camera, digital camera, and telling many times, and it does touch us as professionals in different ways. Like that, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, right there. So that right here, I'll bring in annotation, and maybe I'll use a different font here, and I'll put here hit like, add comments, right? And maybe I'll bring in some sort of behavior, and maybe I'll use this and see what that looks like. Hit play.
There's stories like that, we'd love to hear them. If you have any thoughts about it.
Okay, that pulsating actually is awesome, right? Because it kind of just pulsates and recommends some action. So let's make this. Let me see if we can make this one a different font, maybe. See if we can make that Arial. There you go. And let's hit play. See what that looks like.
Other similar stories like that.
That's perfect. See, the animation comes in, it says hit like, subscribe, or actually it doesn't say subscribe, just add comments, and it disappears. I find that to be awesome. Okay, and this video would be pretty much ready to go. There's one thing that I always do, which is I kind of add some noise reduction to the audio, because some people will listen to this in headphones, maybe at night, and the noise reduction actually helps a lot get rid of the hissing background noise. So it's this one right here on the audio effects and audio removal. Noise removal, bring it down. And then you have a couple of options here. I usually just leave it how it is. I'll hit play real quick, make sure the sound didn't change a lot.
So there's a legendary business story, which I'm not 100% sure if...
So I think I'm good to go there. I shouldn't have to really add some noise reduction. We're good to go. So once the video is done, you definitely want to save the project. And saving the project is not the same thing as saving the actual video. So I'm going to save this into my desktop, and I'll call it story about printing press, whatever I want to call it. Hit save. That's just the project. The project allows me to go back and edit this and re-render it. Now, in order to have this video ready to be published into YouTube or Facebook or whatever, we have to use the share button on the right. I know it's strange, but that's what we have to press. We go to share, and there's actually some direct connections that allow you to upload to YouTube directly, Google Drive, or Screencast. I'm just going to go old school and click on local file. And there's a couple of options here I think worth mentioning. If I click on the options button here, I can say, okay, what do I want the final render for this to be? So I usually put it on automatic for frame rate or 30. That's good enough. And then dimensions, I always try to do it in 1920 by 1080 HD, just because I actually record my videos in that, and that's the same format that I was working on anyway. And the key frame rate, I put it back at 30, so that way you just do 30, and 1920 times 1080 HD. I don't touch any of the other stuff. I honestly don't even know what those buttons do. So just leave it like that, and then click OK. And then click on export. And that, depending on the video size, this is a 8-minute video, more or less. That could take 10 minutes. And then once this is done, I will upload this into YouTube, and I'll make sure to add a link to the final produced video so you can actually see both. You just saw the edit portion of it, and I would love for you to see the final video, just so you get an idea when you watch the video exactly how we constructed it. So I hope that's helpful, and that you make your own videos in Camtasia. Thanks.